Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. Ford. Jay, plenty to talk about today. Obviously, the football season's about to start. Basketball's underway. We've got so much to talk about. We've got youngsters abroad in cycling in Norway. We just finished with the triathletes in Rotterdam and talk about the triathlon in April of next year. But first, let's get a message from our sponsor.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, Jay, we're going to start off with the announcement of the triathlon for April of next year, because excitement is built.
Officially now.
Yes, the date has been set, 28th and 29th. They first came out with the 21st, which caused a lot of confusion, but quickly rectified the mishap and officially announced that the date will be the 28th and 29th of April. That gives, as I've said before, gives our athletes who will be at the Commonwealth Games, such as Flora Duffy, Tyler Smith, Erica Hawley, them a chance to get back from the Gold Coast, which is a long way away, and regroup, and then be able to tackle the world who will be on our shores for that weekend. We're still yet to hear from the officials about an official course, which is something that we've been working very hard to try and get them to announce so that everyone is on board. But the hype around the sport right now is a buzz.
Yeah, most definitely. And the closer it gets, we'll actually know all the athletes who will be participating. Obviously, we already talked about Flora, and we could talk about Tyler, but there's so many others. I think we could probably have a good, probably 10 to 15 who might put their hand up some way, some shape or form if they qualify for these times, that hopefully they can get in. But to have that event here on this island, I think it just bodes well for what we're doing. And then you look at people like Flora and the rest of us that are taking this Bermuda flag around the world and saying, hey, why don't you bring it to my little island? She played a big part of getting it here. And I think some of these are the things that we're going to understand. This is what goes in part and parcel when we have a world-class athlete. Whether it's in boxing, and you're seeing that in boxing, where if you got a world-class boxer and he's a champion, but he gets to have fights at his home. It could be on the fourth corner of the earth.
That's right.
But that's where he's going to have fights. And you end up exposing that sport to many people all over the world, to Bermuda or wherever it may be. So this is some of the good things that come in part and parcel when you have a world-class athlete.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we're looking forward to the event being right here in Bermuda, because we can really host quite a few things. We've done it in various international other sports, and triathlon, bring it on.
And you just said that. I mean, we probably shocked the world with the America's Cup. Coming to, once again, a very small island, 21 square miles. And these are big. That's the World Cup of sailing. So for them having the success they had with the competition, and let's keep it on the sports side.
Yeah, so we're going to keep it on the sports side.
With the competition, with the teams, with the transfer, all these different things that takes to make these events successful, we've been able to say that we can host these things, the Carifta Games. We can keep going back with some of these tournaments we have, and hopefully we're talking. I know there's been talk about the swimming championships coming to the island. We're talking about a golf championship coming to the island. So there's a few other things that are coming, but this, I believe, in 2018, this we're really going to see once again. And this is one thing about. It reminds me a little bit about America's Cup. With triathlon, it shows our island off.
Well, we may have a surprise for you down the road in the very near future. And I'm saying in about maybe 2.5 weeks' time, there might be another huge announcement in the sport of triathlon.
I can't wait.
You can't wait. I can't wait to say it.
You can tell me?
I can't tell you right now.
Here we go again.
I've been sworn to secrecy by some very influential people off island.
Can't nobody listening. Who is it?
I'll tell you during a commercial break, but not right now. But yeah, I mean, you know, we have been able to punch above our weight when it comes to hosting events. Yes, there are a lot of people off island that come in to help organize it, but we have been the host of world-class events, and we're looking forward to hosting even more. There's some talk of other international events and in other sports coming in the very near future, because I think what we've been able to show is the hospitality to the athletes and those viewing to say, hey, if they're going to host something else, I'm going to make my way down that way.
And we looked at it before, you know, like the American Cup, with the advance of the technology now, with the streaming, all these things bode well for all these international entities to come here to do that. So just like years ago, and I think if you think about it now, when they had the squash,
yes, yeah,
that was probably 10 years before its time.
That's right. Glass court inside BHS gymnasium.
It was probably 10 years before its time.
Without a doubt.
Streaming was just like it was a foreign word.
Yes, that's right.
It was actually around, but it was a foreign word.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine it now?
Oh boy, and they're looking to do some stuff too.
And they're looking to do some stuff too. So
anything and everything is possible on this island.
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, Jay, we have coming up the football season.
Some say soccer.
Yeah, some say soccer. Brutus, I said football. He said soccer.
I love football.
But we've had 3 rounds of the league.
Yes.
With the semifinals already set. We've had the Charity Cup, and now it's time for the other 4 teams in the Premier Division to get a game, and the 10 teams in the First Division to kick off. This week, the matches get underway on Saturday night at the BAA field, and that's BAA and Island Rangers, and then it's Robin Hood and Dendytown. Interesting matchup.
Well, most definitely, we stick with that game, Robin Hood and Dendytown, to see. We just talked about a couple of shows ago the likes of Angelo Simmons and
Ian Coate
coming together. But I'm more impressed with what the coach is doing. Kwame, and I'm going to take you back a minute. A couple of years ago, we saw that with North Village, with Ralph Bean Jr. Interesting to see what role does he play in this team this season, because as a coach, I'm pretty sure he will rather stay on the sidelines. But we've seen him, even when he was with Derbyshire Cougars, I might have to inject myself in this team, and direct traffic on field. We saw that also last year with him. So, and we saw it with Ralph Bean. You know, North Village got off to a slow start this season. He injected himself into the team, and then they was competing. So it'd be interesting how that dynamic works. One area of concern that Dendytown has had for the last couple of years has been goalkeeper since Crockwell has left. Right. It has also left
a big void. The unfortunate thing, with Treddy Gibbons still out, but they have gotten in Troy Hall. We'll have to see how he fits into that.
One thing with Troy Hall, he's coming from PHC, so he knows the winning mentality. But we talked about PHC last year, and it's probably one of the reasons why he's going around there, is that they were shuffling a few goalkeepers around. So
and still doing it.
So the consistency of, some keepers need to just play. So there's still some question marks, but I think they would definitely be in a better position this season than they were last season.
Well, they'll get some answers on Saturday night. Not all the answers, because one game doesn't answer everything. But they'll get some answers on Saturday night, and there'll be a lot of people watching. There'll be teams standing on the side, because this will be their first look at Dendytown in a real live game. They've played a lot of practice matches.
Had a practice match the other night,
But when you want to get to see them in action, 90 minutes with referee assistants, crowd, 3 points on the line, that's when you'll get to see part of what they're going to be able to do this season. And the same thing for Robin Hood. They went into their match on Sunday with PHC with an eye on Saturday night, because remember, they're the defending champions. and they don't want to give up any points early in the season that might have them chasing their title again, because they want to be out front right from the start. So it's a lot on the line on Saturday night that will dictate how this season will go, because you're going to see a lot of energy early. It's still warm. The humidity's still up there.
Yeah.
Although it'll be 9 o'clock at night, that ain't gonna make too much of a difference because the humidity's there.
Yeah.
Then we turn our attention to Sunday, and we want to make mention of two teams who, one has never been up, and the other has been so long that they can't remember being up.
You will be talking about Crossroads.
Yes.
By Make Salim. Congratulations again.
Indeed.
And Social Club.
Yes, indeed. Now, both are home for their opening fixtures of the season. Crossroads will entertain Devonshire Cougars.
Ooh.
Social Club will entertain the Somerset Trojans. Now, I honestly believe that these two teams will feel they're in the best position to get a point, if not 3.
Oh, to be honest with you, these might be the points.
Yeah.
Of the season, and I don't want to be negative or pessimistic, but this is your chance. You have to grab it now, because we just looked at the transfer list, and we didn't see too many names popping out that's going to really enhance the team to stay up. Hopefully, they've done a good bit of preseason fitness.
Listen, you're not Najandra. You're not Najandra to be comedy. You know what the thing is.
I know what's gonna happen. I'm just hoping. I see when you say something negative, you won't try to say something.
That wasn't negative. That was the truth.
Okay, but I'm just hoping. I'm just really hoping the guys are in shape, because you just said it. They haven't been up.
Yeah.
And Social Club, none of these guys have been up. Well, I'll put it this way. This team has never been up like that. So some of these guys have probably passed through, like some Clay Darrell. So he would know the type of speed. But it's more than Clay Darrell for Social Club. And it's going to be interesting, because Devonshire Cougars is a young team, and we talked about it last show, trying to find their identity and see how they're going to pan out. And Somerset Trojans, they've took some licks.
Yeah.
So they're looking probably on somebody to put some licks on. So it's going to be interesting. And now I think with cricket wrapped up now.
Right, yeah.
Because you had some players that are very influential in the cricket side.
Yes.
Which they were sharing their energy.
Yeah. And that was that was a huge problem.
Yeah.
It was a huge problem,
because
clubs were looking to
survive in cricket.
Yeah. And
but also start the football season.
Right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, if you look at it on Saturday night as well, in the first division, BA will entertain Island Rangers. So BA is going to want to look to get off to a flying start. Island Rangers, obviously, they've had some ups and downs, more downs than ups.
Let's try this again. They'll be in the dungeon.
They got me back.
They'll be in the dungeon.
Well, early in the season, anything's possible.
They'll be in the dungeon. But what I am, let's go back to Sunday now, Sunday games, and we just stick with the the first division there. I'm going to be interesting to see what Paget does. And I say this, last year they made a big improvement as far as conceding goals, scoring goals. The last couple of seasons you saw them coming, but last season they really got it together. But we saw a lot of players leave.
Yes.
And
key players.
So are they going back to where they were, or last season is a stepping stone going forward? And that's going to be interesting, because I still don't see them, running for the title, for promotion.
They've lost too many key players in key areas that assisted them last year in scoring goals, becoming a threat where teams no longer could just run at them. They had to then pay attention to individuals, and those guys have now moved. They lost 6 players to one team, and that's Southampton Rangers. They lost a 7th player to PHC, and these were guys that were keeping them together, doing the things that they needed to do in order to make Paget a threat last year. The season did not end the way they wanted it to. And we all talked about the last game that saw them almost walk off the field, and that type of stuff. And I think that was more frustration with the season than anything else.
So let's go now straight to, and we haven't done this for a little while. Let's see, I'm gonna say predictions, but teams that will be fighting for the first division title first. Let's do that one first.
Well, we haven't seen any of them yet.
Yeah, but
but off the top of your head, with the transfers and everything, Southampton Rangers will be at the top of that list. BAA, obviously, St. George's, who just fell short last season. We have to see what St. David's will be doing. They have influx of transfers as well. Youngsters, though, with their first-year coach in Sergio Goda. It's going to be topsy-turvy. I mean, we don't know. Eagles just went down. Devonshire Colts just went down.
Can they regroup?
It's going to be, those teams will probably be in the middle of the table.
This game was the Hull team. Who's going to win?
I tell you the 4 teams that could possibly be in the running to win. Didn't I tell you? I said I told you that those 2 that went down will be in the middle of the table.
Okay.
The other 4 will be fighting for the title. That'll be Southampton Rangers.
So it's going to be a first loser, a second loser, and a third loser.
That's right, because there's only going to be one winner.
So let's switch our gears now to the Premier. Obviously, Robin Hood winning last year. But we talked about it in other shows where the league was sort of split up in silverware, even though PHC was in every final last year, which something I can't remember any team being done for a little while.
Right.
But that shows the consistency of what they have. We're seeing a bit of that already this year. We're seeing that Robin Hood could probably, I don't think they fell off too much. I think that it's just a time of just get them getting used to, obviously, new coach and a couple of good transfers there.
Yes. But I think looking at them play now 3 games, those players are starting to adjust to the system that the new coach wants to play. And you could see there's a bit of struggle in understanding amongst the players, but they're willing to work hard for each other. It hasn't all worked out. Obviously, they lost to Charity. They then beat Somerset, but then lost to North Village. Not everybody.
The team they played against.
4, love. But back to Robin Hood, it's going to be really, really important for them to gel as quickly as possible because they get underway on Saturday night. And they're going to want, as we said before, they're going to want to defend that title. Nobody wants to give up something that they worked hard to earn. Now, if things go bad, what do the players who just came in do?
Do they return back to?
Yeah.
I think there's also 2 dark horses for me, 2 unknowns, but I think they do also have an outside, or even have a great chance. North Village, because with their mixture of youth and experience, and I keep saying this, probably the best goalkeeper on the island. That confidence of a good goalkeeper, it can take you a long way.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And whatever Denny Town decides to do, one season they're winning everything, the next season they're scraping to stay above.
Yeah.
So you don't know what we saw that with basically the same team. So what you're going to get out of Denny Town this year, I'm flipping a coin.
Right.
But I won't be surprised if they are battling for the title.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, let's talk about who you think will go down.
Okay. Let's see who came up.
Well, obviously, Social Club and Crossroads.
That's who's going down.
What about Boulevard?
Nah.
You think they got too much?
Yeah, too much.
Okay.
Too much. And I say that because with the likes of Idris and Mallory going back and a few.
No, Idris is playing for Devonshire Cougars.
Devonshire Cougars, yes, he did move on.
I'm telling you, it is very interesting in the Boulevard camp right now.
Ooh, I forgot that. Ooh, you might ice you. You know what? And I'll say this, Earl. It's going to be interesting because we don't really talk about it that much. It all depends on, because those teams, well, you look at Devonshire Colts.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on what can they get from the under 19s?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what can they get from the junior program?
Right.
Because that's going to probably be the savior.
Right.
If there's going to be some saviors, because you didn't see him through the transfer market.
No.
So if there's going to be a savior, it's going to be an unknown who's having a good year in the junior ranks, who's coming up, who's can get a shine, and we've seen it with PAC. I remember the youngster Mays Birchall.
Right.
He came
right.
up. He came up and scored, and
yeah.
But now he's moved on.
Yeah, he's going to Robin Hood.
Right. See, so you've seen that happen before. But I think they might have to rely on their junior programs a little bit more than, you know, the likes of the top teams, because the top teams are pretty much probably got a good 14, 15 players that doesn't have to rotate.
I would say, looking at Boulevard, in the 2 games I've seen them play, they've played in spurts.
Right.
They've had good moments, and they've then had self-destruct moments. And when I say self-destruct, it comes down to the player making a bad decision. And then once that happens, it sort of filters through, because now everybody harps on it. They have to learn how to get over those things really, really quick, because everyone makes mistakes.
Well, I can tell you, you mentioned it before, Ian Coke. He was an influential person, and somebody's going to have to step up to take that authoritative, you know, action. I still have, you know, Tyvins Douglas could score goals. Can you say that with these other teams?
Right.
Who are you depending on? Yes, Clay could score, but like really anybody else?
It's yet to be seen.
Right. So we know Tyvins can put the ball away. So these are the things that who knows is the first things first, and I think with all teams is to protect your home field. That's the first thing. Now, in saying that, Boulevard's getting on the home field this year, St. David's.
St. David's.
Yeah. Does the width of that field gonna hurt them?
I think if you look at where they played on Sunday at Police Field, it's pretty wide. Yeah. But not as wide as St. David's.
Not as wide as St. David's.
And they were exposed at
times.
See,
so this is...
They might have to... And I remember a lot of times when I was playing center half, sometimes you have to defend the width of the box. And Wellington Oval.
Well, you play narrow. You play very narrow.
Wellington Oval was a huge field.
Yeah.
And if you had speed guys,
let them run down the flank.
Yeah, let them get on there.
They got to come in the middle sometimes.
Eventually, they got to come to me. So, you know, a lot of teams try to mark wide. And once the ball goes across, you're chasing. You know, you never want to chase.
But that only builds well if it's a team that doesn't play the knock around from back out.
Yeah.
You know?
Different styles for different,
Because if your team that's been used to doing that and then try to go to a big field like that triangle,
it messes up the rhythm now. Because the pass they're used to weighing for 10 yards, now they got to do it for 20. And because they got to do it a little harder, the pass doesn't go as smoothly as they're used to doing it. So
it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Who's going to protect the home field? And if you realize that last year, Robin Hood done quite well. And PAC.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, PAC done quite well. And I think the times that PAC ended up beating Robin Hood was actually up PAC. So it's been interesting to see how that pans out. And I think whoever protects the home field doesn't give a good indication of who's going to be on the top of the table.
Right. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, it's prediction time. First of the season.
Cool.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, defending champ?
I'm glad you said that.
Well,
it came out of your mouth.
Yeah, 2-time lucky.
Call it what you like. Still undefeated.
Well, yes. So we'll start off this season, and we'll start off with the first division. So it is BAA hosting Island Rangers.
Oh, easy. BAA.
Okay, and I will take BAA as well. So
That's easy.
Okay. Devonshire Colts hosting Southampton Rangers.
Rangers.
Okay. I'll go first to the next one.
We just talked about all of them.
Yeah. Paget Lions hosting Hamilton Parish. And I'm going to take Paget.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Okay.
Stop picking all my teams, man.
Somerset Eagles are at home to St. David's.
Draw.
It's in a draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a draw.
I'm going to go with Somerset Eagles.
Okay. Well, they'll be in a draw. Eagles going to score. My Lord's going to let a girl in.
Yeah, they're going to score 2.
And let in 2.
St. George's Colts are hosting Wolves at the Wellington Oval.
St. George's.
You got me down.
Yeah, that's all about it. Why we even ask you?
Well, Robin Hood versus Dandytown in the Premier Division.
Yeah. It's gonna be a close game though, but Robin will pip him.
Okay, you taking Robin Hood?
I think it's going to be like a 2-1 game. That's what it feels like.
I'm going to take Dandytown.
You know,
Social Club hosting the Somerset Trojans.
Somerset has to. But I see early, it could be a good game early.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that scared me of Somerset, I talked about it with North Village, is goalkeeper.
Yes.
They have a youngster who's been inconsistent.
Yep.
So that's the only thing that's scaring me. And we talked about Clay Darrell. He can score the ball.
Right.
So, but I see Trojans out of that. They got to win sometime this year.
I've taken a draw.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Crossroads at Garrison Field hosting the
Cougars.
Devonshire Cougars.
Yeah, Cougars all day.
Okay.
All day.
Okay, I've taken the Devonshire Cougars as well. North Village Rams and the Boulevard Blazers.
Village.
That's a given.
Yep.
That's a given. And Flanagan's Onions are hosting PAC at BAA Field. I'm already marking me down for PAC.
You know what I'm saying.
So let's see how we make out week 1.
And remember, it's not how you start.
Oh, yeah.
It's how you finish.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think you started off pretty quick.
No, last year I was behind. The first year,
Fresher.
I was out of the cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then...
Caught cramp.
Well, yes.
I can't cross, talk and breathe. Shout out to Cat Blakendale. Haven't seen you, bro. You took your ball and went home. I didn't know you were scared. You know. It's all right, though. Maybe next year.
He's only talking because he won.
Again.
Trust me, he's only talking. He wouldn't be talking if he had the owl.
While Spurs have dinner and all this, I still ain't had no dinner. I ain't even had a fish nugget. It's all right. So happens when you be chumps. Yeah, chumps.
This year is my year.
I hope so.
Yeah, this year is my year. Well, Jay, moving on. Just the other day, had the opportunity to speak with Garen Wilkinson from Senshao, talking about them unable to travel to to Taiwan, I think, Taipei, for the World Wushu Championships. He has quite a bit to say. Actually, let's get the interview with Garen, talking about reasons behind the team withdrawing from the World Championships.
Wilkinson, unfortunate news that we've had to pull out of the World Wushu Championships. Explain what the complications are and the reason for Bermuda having to pull out the athletes.
Sure. There's a number of reasons why we had to sort of pull the plug at the last minute for the World Wushu Championships. I mean, the bottom line, at the end of the day, it was a very expensive venture, and we had limited funding to make the trip. We did encounter, a few hurdles. We did intend to send quite a sizable group. You would know that when you travel, you can get group rates, and helps to keep the prices down. And as we got closer to the championships, and we were informed of the visa requirements of us having to physically go to the Russian embassy in London and then having to overnight hotels there, and the process taking up to 3 days. The cost just kept mounting, and our international federation, International Wushu Federation, we have an online tool that we use to register. We have to place all of our passport information on this application, and the process is that you cannot apply for a visa outside of 30 days of you arriving in Russia. So what that does is, it puts a lot of pressure on us to be able to get all the information in time. Our international governing body did, provide us with a letter to help supplement our visa application, but the accompanying email says that they can't interfere in the process. So, we had intended to travel to London. We had an agent there helping us to, get our documents in order for the visa application. But then even after doing that, there is no guarantee that you actually be approved of the visa to get to Russia. Unfortunately, this year, we unfortunately we're not able to secure any government funding. We have been able to secure funding of some sort almost about every year since 2012. And the reality of it is that we need to be a little bit more self-sufficient and not relying on the funds of any particular entity or government to get us where we need to go. But we're talking about competitions in far destinations, and it costs quite a bit of money. In the end, it almost ended up being about $4,000 per person, and we made a last-ditch effort to see if government could help us out, and we were just informed last night that it's something that they're just not in a position to do. Over the last 2 years, we have been fortunate, and because we are a registered charity, to be beneficiaries of the Give Back to Community fund to the Ministry of National Security. Prior to the election, we were advised that we were being looked at one of the organizations to be helped. We basically rely on these funds. After the election took place, I let the dust settle a bit, and then once I checked back in on it, I was informed that there are no such funds put aside for our organization. So, we tried all we can. Fundraisers can only bring us so much, and we're to the point where I feel our athletes, especially competing at this level, should be spending their time on training, and we just weren't able to raise the funds required to make it. One of the sort of things that makes it hard for us is that we don't receive regular funding through the Department of Youth and Sport, and one of the reasons for that is that our national governing body here, which is the Bermuda Martial Arts Federation, has been non-compliant for a number of years, and as a result, we're not able to benefit from any funding, through them. Our organization, Bermuda Central Association, has tried on numerous occasions. We've submitted applications almost every year to Youth and Sport for grant. We've met with every sports minister, I think going as far back as Minister Randy Horton. And, we're always given the same sort of advice. Okay, apply for a grant through Department of Youth and Sport, and we're always given the exact same response and denied every year. And it's not until, we do sort of further research or get background information that we're informed that it's a result of our national governing body being, non-compliant. So, it's always an uphill battle for us to try to secure funds. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the athletes that suffer. The World Wushu Championships is the biggest event on the Wushu calendar, and it's basically what we train for. So it's disappointing not to be able to send a team.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digicel. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, Jay, you've heard from Garen.
Yeah.
He had several issues, one being financing, that they were promised by the former government prior to the election, but those funds did not come through after the current National Security Minister, Wayne Keynes, announced that there were no more funds available for these purposes due to the lack of availability of funds in the account.
We've seen this happen many times when government changes.
Yes.
What is their focus? And I've said it before, I've said it publicly, I've said it privately. The arts and sports are the first ones to get cut. So depending on what government's in, what is their dedication to the arts and sports, you see the funding going towards the arts and sports. If their dedication is not in the arts and sports, you see the funding start being withdrawn and put other places. Now, how do you balance, sending people to go away where you might have some social programs that need to survive,
right?
Let alone
addressed,
go away. They just need to survive. So it could be a hard call for governments agencies to say, you know what, we're going to take a break on guys leaving the island, but we want to make sure that these social programs are running correctly because they've been underfunded for a while.
Right.
So these are the things that I know that these things are battling because it's the same ministry too.
Yes,
It's the same ministry, and that's, I think sometimes I was hoping that they would be split back up again. Right, but they're not.
Right.
So realistically, they are together, and it's coming out. The money's coming out of the same ministry. And once again, depending on what the heat of the climate is, if somebody's clamoring for more social programs to be taken care of, then that doesn't come out of the sporting fund.
Right.
Because it's all the same funds. So, unfortunately, you feel for the athlete because the athlete's probably been preparing, training, studying the whole nine, and then you get told that you're not going to be able to participate.
Right.
Well, you can go, but you got to come up with some money.
Right. The other problem that he had was that it became expensive because they had to stay in London for a few days while they rushed visa, which added another cost to them. So it was several things that went against them, not just the funding not available in Bermuda, but the cost of getting there.
I think as soon as possible, and they probably already started those talks, but as soon as possible is to sit down with the minister, right? And number one, to put out your wish list, because just like the last government, you got to put out your wish list and see what comes out of that. So now you know how much extra funding you got to go out and get, because sometimes this year you might only get for argument's sake, this year you get 20,000, next year you get 15. Okay, there is a $5,000 difference that could say yay or nay to 1 or 2 trips, but now I know that's 5,000. I got to go out in the public sector and get it.
But I think what the mistake that a lot of these organizations make is they go to the minister when you should go to the ministry, because your buy-in has to come from the ministry. Who's going to actually be your voice to the minister? See, a lot of people go around and try to get and now the minister is in a position, he says, because I like it, I support it. But then he has to go to the ministry and say, I need this.
We have talked about this many times, and like I said, we'll try to stick with the sporting side of it. But realistically, the minister is the manager of the ministry.
Right.
And basically that's what it is.
Right.
He has teams, he has
he has directors.
Committees, he has directors that report to him. So, but it's all based off of the initiatives that they're trying to put forward as the ministry.
And the ministry have guidelines in which they have to uphold, which sometimes the minister is not even sure about the rules and regulations. The minister wouldn't be sure if the organization that's coming to him is compliant.
Yeah.
So then if he or she makes a promise to that organization, the ministry then has to tell the organization, well, because you're not compliant right now, we can't. And then they turn around and say, well, the minister say it.
Yeah.
And then it's all back and forth.
It's unfortunate because a lot of times ministers are put into a ministry that they probably have no real knowledge of.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it happen with many governments,
Yeah.
which is, I think, is one of the biggest problems we have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least have the minister have some type of knowledge of the ongoings of the ministry
Right.
prior to coming in as a minister.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, back to reality, that's what we have. So there's got to be some understanding and also expectations. You got to almost expect it now, because if that's what's happening and you got to change the government, you know what? I'm going to have to start from step one again.
All over
All over
yeah.
again. And yeah,
but if you go through the ministry,
it could be frustrating.
yeah, if you go through the ministry,
Yeah.
all that paperwork and all those steps are covered. So it's just now a meeting with the minister. We're compliant. We have passed all the rules and regulations according to the ministry, and we bring the ministry with
And once
us.
again, how many sporting bodies do we have on the island?
36.
36. So that's the hardest part for the minister, even for a minister as his personal views.
Right,
All 36 should get the equal amount of attention.
right. And I'm glad you said attention.
I didn't say funded.
I know, trust me, I know, and I said,
I didn't say
I said, I'm
funded.
glad you said attention.
Attention.
Because not all of them want funding. They just want to be heard.
Attention.
Yeah. And it's simple as that. So, there you go.
Not in the boardroom, you know. Got one tie that could bury me in it.
With a smile?
It's black.
What? No black and white?
Damn it, now I'm talking, bruh. Class.
Well, PhD moved from black and white to gray and black now. I know what it was. What happened was when they washed the clothes one day, the black ran and it got gray, the white got gray, so that's what they started. Yeah, gray zebra.
It was just a dirty zebra. That's what it means. Gotta go bath, it'll be all right.
Back to black and white.
Clorox. Squeaky clean.
We'll be back after this message from our sponsor.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, young Kaiwan Waldron.
Giddy up. You said a young Iowa Waldron.
Yeah. Had the opportunity to compete in the U.S. recently, driving horse.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw that.
Why would you be shocked?
Well, when you see a youngster, especially in equestrian and dressage and stuff like that, you see him basically in equestrian dressage and even harness pony racing.
Right.
We've seen a lot of youngsters come through, like Tyler Lopes and the rest of them. But driving,
Yeah.
normally see David Lopes and the guys.
Yeah.
The other guys, and all the beautiful characters that we do have here on this island. You not very rarely see youngsters, you know, with the reins.
Well, he's got that bit in his mouth, like the horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's get the interview with youngster Kaiwan Waldron.
Trying to catch the time of 67.94. Caroline Corman leading, and this is our last challenger.
too close. Oh!
5-second addition for that knockdown.
Oh, buddy.
Taiwan Waldron, just back recently from the U.S. where you had an exceptional trip overall. Obviously, driving is something that we rarely see here, although you guys do it quite a bit, but we get a chance to really see it. What was the experience like for you?
Amazing. It was something that I thought I would never get here. You know, I took every opportunity I could and made the best of it.
What was the competition like? And obviously you was on borrowed horses and so forth, or driving borrowed horses, and that takes a little skill as well because you don't know how that horse is going to behave.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the competition was definitely a lot stiffer, you know what I mean, because there was a lot more. But, I mean, driving-wise, the guys here, they're pretty good. And away there, they obviously have more experience, so you know they know a little bit more. But it was good, though.
What are some of the things you learned in that short period of time and over the places that you traveled to compete?
I actually learned the proper setup of how you should turn out, how you should look in the ag show in the ring. I learned different ways how to drive, different techniques, how to teach them and train them. Yeah.
Is that something you look forward to do again? You've had that experience. Now you have a chance to come back, evaluate the whole situation, and then maybe go back and see what improvements you've made?
Yeah, the plan is definitely to go back next year and learn more. Because I only did the tip of the iceberg this year, so it's a lot more to learn.
Now let's talk a little bit here, because you do driving pony.
Yeah.
What do you think of this new track?
I mean, so far it looks good. I mean, hopefully our horses don't get as hurt as they used to be, but I mean, it looks good so far. Hopefully it holds up.
All right, well, we'll see you on the track in a few weeks' time.
Thank you.
Well, Jay, what a way to finish with young Kaiwan. Looking forward to going back next year and possibly doing even better. Obviously, the shows here, especially the one in Botanical Gardens, the exhibition, they have other shows at different horse grounds around that use the carriages, and we look forward to those events. Seeing him in action, he said he learned a lot, how to get the horse to do certain things, and you know, we got an opportunity to see dressage a few years ago at Botanical Gardens when we had all the what we consider international competitors back on island, and to see the horse respond in certain ways to certain movement, it was amazing to see. And then to see that using a carriage.
Well, they become what they call horse whisperers.
Yes.
I don't know the language. I just know giddy up and stop. I say and stop.
The louder you shout, the faster he goes. Okay.
But no, you're absolutely right, and it's an art, or some might say it's a sport, but it's something that when you have that bond between the human and the animal, it's something special to see when you see it done correctly.
Right. Well, that's it for the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. Good luck this weekend.
That's the human, I'm the animal.
Giddy up.
Stop.
Have a good night, folks.